Hey students, so this is our second week of lessons online, and I wanted to share a little excerpt with you because with all the extra free time that I have, I'm actually getting around to reading books, and I thought this was interesting because I had always heard about it, but hadn't actually personally read about this. You know how at the beginning of probably last semester when I introduced B major scale, and I told you that B major scale was the easiest one to play because it uses all of the black keys and it really just conforms to the hand shape really well. And I might have briefly mentioned that it was the scale that Chopin would start with for his students. Well, this is a book about Chopin by Alan Walker that just came out recently. And I wanted to read you an excerpt from this book because I thought it was really interesting. It doesn't really pertain to anything that we have to do today, but I just thought maybe you would be just as interested as I am. So, by considering the natural placement of the hand on the keyboard, Chopin emancipates himself from the tyranny of C major and all its discomforts. It helps to explain the large number of pieces by Chopin whose key signatures are loaded with sharps and flats, which is so interesting because I've never actually considered that. Yeah, he does write a lot of pieces in very strange keys, but it makes sense now when you consider that he really enjoyed the hand shape of playing on black keys. And then he goes on to, so apparently he had started work towards a piano method that was never completed. And in this, he says, this is from Chopin, he says, many times without thinking, minds who know nothing about piano playing have seriously proposed that the keyboard be leveled. This would eliminate all the security that the pivot points give to the hand would consequently make the passage of the thumb in those scales involving sharps and flats extremely difficult. So what he's saying is that some people have proposed that these black keys be on the same plane as the white keys. And I just thought that would really make piano playing really quite a different thing and would completely transform our technique. And it's so strange to think that this is something that we take for granted, the position of the white keys versus the black keys and the shape of the keys, that there were innovators and inventors who had seriously considered taking away the black keys. Isn't that strange? And then he goes on to say, this is Chopin again, for a long time players have been acting against nature by training our fingers to be equally powerful. As each finger is differently formed, it is better not to attempt to destroy the particular charm of each one's touch, but on the contrary, develop it. And he goes on to talk about the uniqueness of every finger, the strength of the thumb and the strength of the middle finger, since it's right at the center of your hand, and the strength of your pinky because it's at the end of your hand and you can really throw your arm weight into it. And then the weakness of the fourth finger, he calls it the Siamese twin with the third finger, the third and the fourth finger. And he talks about really cultivating the uniqueness of each finger when we consider our fingering and the quality of sound we want to evoke with the use of each of our fingers. So anyways, I just thought that would be an interesting thought experiment, as it was for me, to consider how piano could be really quite different based on what inventors and innovators might have come up with, and history would have been completely transformed. So I'm so grateful that the piano is in the shape that it is and that it is laid out the way that it's laid out, because it certainly makes a lot of things possible. If it weren't like this, it would make a lot of things tremendously difficult. Thank goodness, in other words, for raised black keys. All right, enough of that.